Kazuo Ishiguro is a Japanese-born British author who was born on the 8th of November 1954 in Japan. When his father, a research oceanographer, was invited to work for the British government, Ishiguro and his family moved to England in April 1960. His first published novel, titled A Pale View of Hills, was published in 1982. The work brought Ishiguro into the public literary eye. It was awarded the Winifred Holtby Memorial Prize by the Royal Society of Literature, and Ishiguro also became included in the Granta magazine's 1983 list of 20 best young British novelists, alongside writers such as Salman Rushdie and Ian McEwan. Other notable works include An Artist of the Floating World, The Remains of the Day, which won the Booker Prize and was adapted into a film starring Anthony Hopkins and Emma Thompson in 1992, Never Let Me Go, The Buried Giant, and the subject of this short presentation, Klara and the Sun. Ishiguro's works cover a wide range of genres, including SF, fantasy, and historical fiction. His success showed no sign of abating, for he received an OBE for services to literature in 1995 and a Nobel Prize in Literature in 2017. He was officially knighted in 2019. Klara and the Sun was published in March 2021 and is a dystopian science fiction novel. It was received with generally favorable reviews and debuted at number 6 on the New York Times fiction bestseller list. The novel is set in the United States in an unspecified future, where children are genetically engineered for enhanced intelligence. The novel calls this being lifted. Although Ishiguro wrote this novel before the COVID pandemic, it is interesting to note that in the novel, schooling is provided solely at home via on-screen tutors. The novel is narrated from the point of view of Klara, an artificial friend. Artificial friends in the novel are solar-powered companion robots for children. Klara is highly intelligent and observant, even compared to other robots and models. Readers experience the story through her growing experiences and feelings, and are asked to consider what it means for a machine to be narrating its own story. The novel begins with Klara in a shop, waiting to be purchased. She is eventually chosen by a young girl named Josie, who suffers from a mysterious illness that is later revealed to be linked to her genetic enhancement. Klara quickly becomes devoted to Josie and becomes relatively close with Josie's mother, Chrissy, and Rick, Josie's best friend and neighbor. Rick has not been lifted and therefore faces limited opportunities in society. We later learn that Josie's older sister, Sal, had previously died from the complications caused by the genetic lifting process. Racked by guilt and fear of losing another daughter, Chrissy secretly gets a highly accurate robot replica of Josie made. Her plan is that if Josie does die, Klara would integrate her artificial consciousness into it, as Klara's exceptional observational powers allow her to imitate Josie perfectly. Throughout the novel, as Klara learns more about humans and society, she begins to form her own understanding of love, faith, and sacrifice. She becomes convinced that the sun, which she views as a powerful and life-giving force, can heal Josie. She therefore prays to it and appeals to it for help. To demonstrate her loyalty, Klara embarks on a quest to destroy what she calls the Cootings machine. This is a name that's probably taken from the words printed on the machine itself. Ishiguro does not give his readers exact details on what this machine is, but we can glean that it is some kind of industrial machine that emits polluting black smoke. Klara sees this machine as an evil that pollutes and blocks the sun's rays, and thinks that defeating this evil will please the sun. Later in the novel, Klara finds and destroys a Cootings machine, sacrificing some of the PEG9 solution she carries in her system in the process. She makes this decision despite the fact that the loss of the solution may result in a reduction of her functions. When Josie seems near death, the sun seems to respond to Klara's sacrifice and sends its rays flooding into Josie's sick room, thereby healing her. The novel closes on an ambiguous note, however. Josie goes off to university and Klara ultimately ends up in a yard for scrapped artificial friends. She is no longer able to move around, but seems content to sit in the same spot and ruminate over her memories with Josie. The manager of the store that Klara was in at the beginning of the novel visits her, and Klara tells her of her happy memories and of the son's kindness towards Josie. One of the most prevalent themes that the novel invokes is that of the relationship between artificial intelligence and humanity. By giving readers a first-person narrative insight into Klara's thoughts and feelings, the novel questions what differentiates humans from highly intelligent machines. It examines whether emotions and self-awareness are exclusive to humans, or if they can be programmed, or if they can even naturally appear in machines. The book is also concerned with how humans interact with the technology around them. It not only highlights how dependent humans are on technology for companionship and utility, but also seems to critique a society in which it is normal to simply and easily discard things that are no longer of use. Love, faith, and sacrifice are also central to the novel, and are the forces that lie behind Klara's motives and drive in life. Klara has a strong quasi-religious faith in the sun, and it is this faith that encourages her hope and optimism as she navigates the human world. Her unwavering and selfless love for Josie does not demand reciprocation. She is willing to physically sacrifice herself for the sake of healing her, and does not show anger when she is eventually abandoned by the end of the novel. Does Klara's inability to resent Josie make her a kind of superhuman that transcends basic human emotions and qualities? Or does it simply reinforce the fact that she is a static machine, incapable of the very negative emotions that make us human? The world of Klara and the Sun is pervaded by a strong sense of loneliness and isolation. Josie's illness isolates her from other children and the world around her. Klara, who is designed to help alleviate that loneliness, is ironically an isolated figure herself. She can only observe human interactions as an outsider, and she is constantly looking for connection and mutual understanding. The wider society in the novel is also heavily fragmented. Despite being a technologically advanced world, the fact that technology has replaced human roles results in a decrease in face-to-face, human-to-human interaction. It seems that in the world of the novel, the more technologically connected a society is, the more distant human relationships themselves are. Lastly, we have the theme of class and social inequality. A two-tier structured society is at the foundation of the novel's world. You have the lifted and the unlifted. Lifted children, those who have been genetically modified to be more intelligent, have clear advantages when it comes to success at university and in life. At the same time, they also have to bear significant physical risks. This not only raises questions about the ethical implications of genetic engineering, but also asks us to think about the limits of human ambition. I hope you enjoyed this quick overview of Ishiguro's Klara and the Sun. Thank you, and see you next time.